When it comes to building a business, you have to understand that the foundation is with the values and the principles. In today's video, we're going to talk about what is the values, what are the principles, how do you talk about them, how do you build them out with your team, and we're going to give you that explanation in this video. When it comes to building a company, when it comes to building anything, there has to be some type of direction the company is going into. There has to be some kind of direction the team is actually, the objective the team is running after, right? The target, the goal. But a lot of times when things get tough, right, or when things get a little bit blurry, people don't make the right decisions. People start making bad choices and bad decisions. And there's another video we just made not too long ago that you'll be able to see here on making the right choices, okay? So when it comes to values and principles, in my ideology, the values and principles are the foundation of every single business, right? What do you do, right? What is the moral compass of the company? What is the moral compass of the team? And one of the things that I did in my company was we created the 10 Commandments. And the 10 Commandments, and we have some videos on them if you want to know what they are. The 10 Commandments is like a foundational blueprint of how we make decisions, right? As an example, one of them is integrity, right? It's the second one we have. It's always about, every decision you make it with integrity. Because not everyone's going to watch you all the time. My staff know this, my sales guy know this, my subcontractors know this, everyone knows this, right? Not always is there going to be a chance for you to be watched over and, people can't see what you're doing. So what do you do in those situations, right? How do you have people make the right choices? It's the foundation, it's the values, it's the principles. And you don't just talk about the values once a month or once a year or just put it in a freaking room. You talk about it all the time. You commend people that are doing things that are right compared to the values and principles. So if your values is working hard as an example, okay, I'm just giving you guys some basic ones, but you got to really think about it, right? You have to commend everyone around your team and start clapping for everyone. Okay, congratulations. This person was able to make a sale and he didn't. Why? Because it was not of value, of integrity to the customer. That's amazing, right? And you want to kind of commend that. A lot of times I see sales organizations or even companies, they don't promote and recognize the things they actually want. They only promote production. Oh, congratulations, this guy made production. I mean, even in a worse company, they probably don't even recognize anyone at all. But in a good, healthy company, they're recognizing people for production, right? But you want to go to another level of that, right? You want to congratulate people for the things they actually do on a consistent basis when it comes to values and principles. Letting everyone know that these are the things that we cherish the most in the company, not just production. And you kind of like make people want to be of value or follow the principles in the business, right? It's very important. So like, for example, you may say, Michael, what would be a good value? Where do I start? How do I build my values? Well, think about what's important to you. Think about what you want. If you close your eyes around and you want to see your team and your company, how do you want them to act? How do you want them to behave? How do you want them to do things when you're not there? Like when you're not there, how do you want them to operate and function? And if you could come up with a list of things that you really, truly, truly, really want, let's say it's 30 things, 20 things, 5 things, whatever it is, and chop off some of the ones that are not really important to you. And those are like your commandments. Those are your that's your Bible, so to say. Like these are the things we must follow. In order for this company to be successful, we believe in X, Y, Z. For us, it's the 10 Commandments. That's for us. For you, it can be 5 commandments. It can be 5 things, but you have to have those values and principles. And every single office that we're going to be opening up is going to have those 10 commandments plastered on the wall. So the sales managers, sales leaders, the office managers, whoever, are going to be talking about it all the time. Everyone has access to them. It's not just like, oh yeah, let's talk about it once a year. No, we're going to talk about it all the time. The values and principles is the cornerstone of every single growth of every company. The values and principles. Look at Enron, for example, right? I went to an event and I saw one of the CFOs of Enron talking, and he talked about there's rules and there's principles. And it was pretty amazing to see that, he was following the rules, but he wasn't following the principle because there was no principle. Right? Then nobody talked about the principle. They only talked about the rules. And if you have rules, that's awesome, but you need to have principles. You need to have things that you live and die for. And you will never cross that border. So for example, one of the things that we believe in is education, right? Education minimum of 1 or 2 hours a day. How do you do that? Audios, podcasts, videos, whatever it may be. That's a value. That's a principle that we stick by. I, as the CEO, live by that. I breathe that every single day. So it exudes out of my body. My people feel it. They know it. They see it. That's what we talk about. And some people may not agree with that, and that's okay. You don't want that kind of culture? That's okay. We recommend our staff to read books once a month. We want them to read books. Why? I want them to get smarter. That's part of our culture. And that's part of our values and principles. If you don't have the values and principles is what builds the culture. If you don't have the right values and principles and you don't live by them, your culture will dissipate. If you follow the values and principles, your culture will grow. It may take a little bit longer than usual, but it's okay. I'd rather have the right culture the right team with the principles and values, then have a culture that is kind of following it, and 2 months later you lose the whole company, or you lose the whole team. Never make short-term decisions. Never make short-term. It's always about the long term. And that's why following principles and values and building those out is extremely, extremely important when you're building a company and building a team. Especially if you're starting off brand new. Oh my God, it's the best time to do it. Before you start a company, before you start an LLC and all this paperwork, think about the values. What are your values? What do you want that company to be, what do you want that company to believe in 24/7? So when you're not there, the values and principles are talked about all the freaking time. So I appreciate you. What I want you guys to do right now is take 5 minutes and write down some of the values that are important to you. If you're not a CEO and you're building a team, that's awesome. What do you want your values in your team, in your subculture? What do you want the values to be in that team? It's very important to do that, okay? So I appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe, like, and comment down below, and we'll see you guys at 100,000 subscribers.